Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming out, and I'm pleased to announce one of the most important staff positions within Missouri State government will be filled by Trish, Vincent, who I'm pleased to announce will serve as the new Chief of Staff for the Governor's Office. Trish will take over from Ed Martin. Ed has served me, this office, and the state of Missouri very well over the last 15 months. I directed Ed to make positive changes in state government, and with his help, we've had much success. In the last session, for example, I had 3 important priorities for education, health care, and tax relief, and Ed Martin was successful in helping me carry all those priorities across the finish line. We also had a successful special session in which we enacted a very important job creation bill and transportation infrastructure legislation. It was also effective in helping me to curb illegal immigration within our state. And with his help, we have continued to make state government more transparent and more efficient. I expect the Chief of Staff to work as hard or harder than anybody else in state government. And Ed exceeded that expectation. But he wants to pursue new opportunities to serve Missouri where he can spend more time with his wonderful wife Carol and their 2 children. I am very grateful for Ed's service. I wish him well, wish his family well, and he remains a close friend and somebody who cares deeply about the future of our state. Trish Vincent will continue to move the administration forward with the same priorities. Many of you know Trish Vincent in her long service to my office and to Missouri. Trish has proven to be a competent administrator, and she is certainly up to this demanding challenge. Trish is a strong member of my cabinet. She served as the director of the Department of Revenue from the very beginning of the administration. In fact, she was one of the very first appointments I made after I was elected governor. In that role, she has successfully answered my call to make state government do more with less, to produce savings for taxpayers, all while improving customer service for Missourians. Ed Martin resigned. As I mentioned, he made a number of contributions to this office and to the state during his service. He remains a friend, somebody that I respect for his commitment to better Missouri government.
You say Ed resigned, but did you ask him to resign?
I think we might have, Ed and I was to talk about the future of the office, who's the right person to lead the office in a specific set of circumstances. Right now that's Trish Vincent, and that's my decision, and Trish Vincent's the Chief of Staff.
Is that a yes, that you did ask for his resignation?
It was just no, I don't know that I would answer that no, I suppose. I don't know if that actually occurred. We would have had a discussion, though, about the office, also about what he wanted to do in terms of spending time with his wife and family, and the fact that this is a very demanding job. I expect the Chief of Staff to work as hard as anybody else in state government.
When did he first come to you and say, I'm thinking I need to change?
I think we would have discussed this probably several weeks ago.
When you appointed him, you said that you thought he could bring diverse groups together, but he's proven to be somewhat of a divisive factor in terms of dealing with some of the divisive issues you've had, such as the Hispanic organizations that had problems within the school choice issue, the nonpartisan court plan. Does that play into your decision that you need a different brand of leader there?
No, and again, I think in many ways he was able to bring diverse groups of people together to help us achieve important things. There's many times changes never easy. Fundamental change does rattle cages, I suppose. But we're going to continue to press forward the sort of fundamental change and reform we've delivered over the past nearly 3 years. And I'm very pleased that Trish Vincent is willing to take on these new responsibilities. I'm convinced that she is the best person to lead the office at this time.
When you were just email flat the last straw, so to speak, even though you didn't ask him to resign, but your decision to get together with him to discuss it, was the email flat the final straw?
Yeah, I think we've addressed that. We're going to continue to do everything we need to demonstrate that we comply with the law and that we retain and release more emails than any office in state government.
How do you Ed Martin was one person who acknowledged deleting a particular email about an email to abortion groups, which upon second thought probably should have been saved. Were you disappointed in the way he handled that issue in particular?
I wouldn't necessarily agree with the second thought assertion. What I have called for is the creation of a system that permanently retains all so that there is no room for human error, so that all email will be permanently retained forever and available for public perusal and inspection, which creates an entirely new standard, a much higher standard of transparency than is required by the law or has ever existed in Missouri state government. I've mentioned the reasons that he's decided to move on and the reasons that I've asked Trish Vincent to take on this very important responsibility.
I'm going to try one more time. Steve actually said though you didn't ask for his resignation. I was confused. Did you ask for his resignation?
If you're pleased, that's my intent. So, I think we've discussed it. We've discussed his desire to move on, and my request to Trish that she take on these responsibilities. She's a valued member of the cabinet. She has great managerial and leadership ability. I believe she's the right person to lead the office at this time, and the right person to help me lead the state of Missouri.
There was a lot of this approach. Did you ask Trish to be the chief of staff before Ed told you he wanted to pursue other possibilities?
We're not giving a timeline of what happened when and that sort of thing.
What are the effective dates of Mr. Martin's resignation and Ms. Vincent's taking over?
Noon.
Today.
Mm-hmm.
What's that going to do?
I'm sure he'd be happy to discuss it with you. He's been for some time.
Really? You're going to be able to talk to him?
You have to ask him. I'm sure.
Is he in state government or your campaign in the future?
He actually will remain on the staff till about January 4th to continue to provide help to Trish during this transitional period. A number of projects that are moving forward that can't be turned over immediately and will benefit from having that sort of two-person transition in leadership for the next few weeks.
So it will be on the staff, meaning on the payroll until January 4th. But as of noon today, Ms. Vincent is in fact...
Noon today, Trish Vincent is the chief of staff.
What will his title or position be for the next few months then?
I don't know if the title and position necessarily matter. He will be there to provide assistance during that transition period. I think that seems reasonable to people. Through the end of the year, they'll be helping with the transition.
At his current salary level or at some sort of reduced role?
We'll get you that information, but the answer is that he'll continue to work to the end of the year.
How are you going to respond to charges that Ed Martin is going to be the fall guy for this email situation?
Yeah, I'm the governor, and I'm responsible for what happens in state government.
Was Ed, do you believe you were adequately informed about the whole Scott Eckersley case, the way it was handled, and also what about this memo that the Associated Press came up with that shows that Scott Eckersley did send a legal memo outlining the sunshine components related to email? What about that memo? We're trying to get a response on that.
Yeah, we've definitely commented on that, and we have a very clear position.
Does the memo exist? Is it genuine?
Yeah, and I think we clearly said that we don't, and I don't have any intention of commenting on documents that people won't share with us. Thank you all very much.
Ms. Vincent?
Was Ed's resignation in writing?